Welcome, everyone. I see a few people are still coming in. I'll be keeping an eye on the waiting list and moving people in. As if you see me clicking, that's what I'm doing. Here are more already. So, very glad to have you all here. My name is Kate Liberty. I am the co-founder and COO at Conversifi, where we connect language learners with native speakers over video chat so people can practice the language that they're learning and also learn a little bit about the culture at the same time. So we're all about connecting the world in conversation, and today's presentation is really consistent with that mission. We're very excited to share this with you. Before we get started, we have a lot of different schools represented here. I think 18 or 19 different universities. So if you could just in the chat add the name of your university so that people can get a sense of the diversity of this crowd, because I'm really excited to have you all here. Good. It's good to see you guys, Sharon, Pat, Christian. Excellent. Lots of friendly faces here. You are welcome to turn on your video if you'd like. Not required to. I know it's a big group and you'll want to be looking at the slides, but it is nice to see your faces. So, see the Sorbonne. Fabulous. Um, Good. Santa Fe, Ohio. Look at that. This just great all the way across the US and the world. I love seeing this array of schools. Conversify is in over 130, I think, universities now, and more coming all the time. And so glad to be welcoming so many of you here and so many that are already part of the Conversify community. So today we are joined by uh, Aristide Kouadio, who is one of our coaches in Côte d'Ivoire. Our French program has coaches from throughout the Francophone world, and we have, I think, over a dozen countries represented now in lots of different regions. The Francophone world is so diverse, and we wanted to share with you today a little bit of his culture from Côte d'Ivoire. So he'll walk you through a wonderful presentation, and you'll get to meet a couple other coaches from Conversify as well. So we'll spend the next half hour or so hearing a presentation from him and a little video. And then we'll open it up for questions. So be thinking as you listen to this, what questions you have about Côte d'Ivoire, what questions that raises for you. You can pop those right in the chat. Anytime something occurs to you, just pop it in the chat and we won't stop in that moment, but we'll have plenty of Q&A time later. You'll notice we have an ASL interpreter up in the corner. ASL is one of Conversify's languages, and we wanted to be sure that our ASL programs and our deaf coaches are able to participate in this too. So we're very happy to have Nathalie here interpreting for us. And you'll probably also, some of you will recognize Alison Dufort, who is our head coach in French. So she'll
Bonjour.
be helping and
Bonsoir.
facilitate this conversation. When we get to the Q&A, Allison will lead that. She'll keep an eye on the chat and feed the questions to Aristide so that he can focus on answering them. Um, so without further ado, let me pass this off to Aristide. He's one of our newer coaches on Conversify. Côte d'Ivoire is one of the most recent countries we've added. And I think Aristide was our first coach in Côte d'Ivoire. He's just been wonderful. The students love working with him. He is multilingual, speaks French, and you'll see his English is excellent. He also speaks Spanish, I think a little Russian. I'm sure I'm forgetting. Oh, also some local languages. So very diverse linguistic background and also a really interesting academic background. And I'll let Aristide himself tell you more about that. So, Aristide, thank you so much for joining us for this, and I will pass it off to you.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you for the introduction. That's my favorite part. So, if right now you decide to leave the presentation, that will be okay. Anyway,
Absolutely
if
not.
you choose to stay around, if you choose to stay around and see how the presentation goes, I will make sure you don't get bored. All right. With that being said, I know some of you are already planning to travel overseas to strengthen and sharpen the language skills, others for vacation. Whatever the reason for you to travel here, here's one thing. Côte d'Ivoire will be a great destination for you. But again, let's face it, you will need to get prepared. You will need to plan for that. In the meantime, I'm taking you on a virtual trip to not only give you a bird's eye view of what Côte d'Ivoire looks like, but most importantly, to show you what it means to be a student here in Côte d'Ivoire. So sit tight and let's fly together. Let's go.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Thank you. So this is a Côte d'Ivoire on Africa's map. And as you can see, we bordered to the north by Mali and Burkina Faso, to the east by Ghana, to the southeast by Liberia, to the south by the Gulf of Guinea, to the west, northwest, yeah, to the northwest by Guinea itself, okay? And as you can see, generally speaking, we don't have this problem of time conversion because we in the GMT time, okay, time zone. That means all we need to do is either do plus or minus the time that we're willing to work in, all right? As for the population, the last time they estimated the population, that was back in 2024, and we were 33 million people living in Cote d'Ivoire. I guess by this time we should be around 34 to 35 million people. And with this, we have more than 8 million people coming from the surrounding countries. Let's go. Let's go.
I think there is a little delay,
Great.
but I have passed it already.
Okay, great. Doesn't matter. Don't worry. Okay.
Perfect.
Anyway, these are some key features of Côte d'Ivoire. To tell you the truth, when I was preparing this part, I said, well, these guys can find almost anything about Côte d'Ivoire just by clicking on Google. So let's find something that we need to know about. So I believe you will want to know about this information, these key features. So first thing first, we Africa's the world's largest cocoa and cashew nuts producer. I mean, for those of you who can stand chocolates, chances are you've already eaten some chocolates made with cocoa beans from Cote d'Ivoire. Never mind, okay? For those of you who like food like me, especially for those of you who like fish, we also get you covered because we have Africa's largest tuna pot, okay? And then for those of you who come to know more about our culture, you won't get bored because we have more than 60 ethnic groups. And part of one of the major one, the Akan group. So because I'm Baule, Ntibalweba, don't forget about it, all right? But before we talk about Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire being the most welcoming West Africa country, I just want you to pay your attention to the picture in the background. For those who know this building, they've already recognized it. For those of you who don't know the building, this is the Basilica Our Lady of Peace of Yamoussoukro. And I chose to add this picture in the background because it houses the world's largest church. You see, I mean, if religion is what really matters to you, it your time will be also well spent because you won't get bored. All right. Now, last but not least, I believe without any doubt that Côte d'Ivoire is the most welcoming West Africa country. And down, no comment. Based on what I see here in Côte d'Ivoire, as I said earlier in the introduction, that we have more than 8 million people coming from the surrounding countries living here in Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, so again, this should be a motivation for you to travel here without hesitation. All you need to know is it is a warm country, so you better think about that when you're planning. Let's go. Great. Now that was about the chapter about Côte d'Ivoire. So we will close this chapter and now get to know my friends and I. So we will first see my friends from Yamoussoukro and then those from San Pedro. But before that, we spend some time discussing my philosophy of life. Before that. Good. Okay, it doesn't, you can stay on this slide, all right? I mean, everything in life, for me, everything in life is volitional. So this isn't only my favorite quote, but this is also what summarizes the mindsets of students here all over Côte d'Ivoire and also in San Pedro. And everything in life is volitional, as a constant reminder for me to stop making excuses, to stop complaining, to stop justifying myself, to stop pitying myself, and keep working toward my life stats, regardless of what life has in store for me. Okay? So now that was about my philosophy. Let's talk about my friends. All right. These are my friends from Yamoussoukro. And the lady next to me, this is Lacey Merman. Lacey is from Minnesota. And the last time we talked, she was completing a master's program in international relations at Columbia University in the US. But by that time, when she was traveling to Yamoussoukro, she was coming from Georgetown University. So she came over to serve as a Fulbright teaching assistant. Now on my right, this is Lucien. Lucien, for what I remember, Lucien was completing a master's program also in management in Paris at HEC Paris. So normal speaking, he should be back by now. Okay. The other one next to him, this is Privat and Xavier. To tell you the truth, we haven't talked since, okay? So I'm not going to lie, all right? Now let's shift our attention to the left. To the left, we have Ibrahim, the same thing, we haven't talked since. But the one with the glasses now is the sales manager of one of the agro-industrial companies here in Côte d'Ivoire. And that company is called Solevo. Okay. Now for Joel and Koulibaly, yeah, it's been a while, we haven't talked as well. So that was about my friends from Yamoussoukro. Now we're going to watch a short clip about my friends from San Pedro, and that's about Amon Kwame and Loïse Congo, who are coaching with me as well at Conversifi. So let's watch together. Peux-tu te présenter et me dire ce que tu étudies ici à l'Université Polytechnique de San Pedro et qu'est-ce que ça fait d'être un étudiant ici?
D'accord, je me présente, je m'appelle Armand Kwame, étudiant en licence 2 en tourisme, espace et société à l'Université Polytechnique de San Pedro. Et, il faut dire que ma journée commence à partir de 7 heures où je prends le petit déjeuner et après je rejoins les amphithéâtres pour les cours. Nous descendons à 11 heures pour le déjeuner et dans la soirée, je passe la plupart de mes temps avec mes amis et aussi à la bibliothèque pour mener mes recherches.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Anou Bomo Doré Dorimen, étudiante en licence 2 Je fais les classes préparatoires options mathématiques et physique. Bon, on a vraiment un programme un peu chargé et tous les matins, c'est les cours à 7h30. On finit à 11h45, on reprend à 13h45 pour finir à 18h.
Et quelles sont les difficultés que tu rencontres en tant qu'étudiant?
D'accord. Les difficultés que nous rencontrons ici, c'est d'abord au niveau de l'emploi du temps, parce que nous faisons cours du lundi au samedi. Et c'est vraiment une difficulté majeure. Aussi, on a le transport, parce que pour se rendre à l'université, c'est vraiment compliqué. C'est le bus que nous prenons, mais on passe beaucoup du temps à l'arrêt. Mais moi, j'ai le privilège d'être à la résidence universitaire. L'autre problème, c'est au niveau du Wi-Fi. Il n'y a pas de Wi-Fi dans les amphithéâtres. Quand nous faisons le cours, si vraiment tu veux faire des recherches, c'est compliqué. Aussi, au niveau de la restauration. Souvent, nous pouvons passer des heures à attendre la nourriture. Et après ça, on a cours et c'est vraiment compliqué.
Bon, surtout pour la filière que j'ai choisie, les classes préparatoires. Bon, nous savons tous que c'est, on va dire, un programme ou un cursus intense, difficile, sur 2 années. Et ça demande beaucoup de courage, d'abnégation. Et aussi, il faudrait qu'on se donne véritablement. Parce qu'on pourrait tout de suite se décourager et puis ne plus poursuivre le cursus.
Je vois. Intéressant. Mais vous avez au moins du temps libre?
Non.
Pas de temps libre?
On a le temps libre, mais c'est vraiment rare.
D'accord.
C'est comme si on nous demandait véritablement d'être accroché. Voilà, pour seulement ces 2 années.
Et qu'est-ce que tu fais ton temps libre ici?
Pendant mon temps libre, je joue au football ou je fais du jogging.
Donc, pendant les temps libres, particulièrement moi, je regarde des films ou bien je vais au sport. Le basket. Et puis, on a découvert un autre sport ici, le dodgeball.
Et quels sont tes plans pour le futur?
D'accord. Mon plan pour le futur, j'envisage faire une carrière internationale après mon diplôme pour avoir plus d'expérience et venir au pays pour monter mon propre business, pour travailler à mon propre compte, sans oublier dans le domaine du tourisme.
La formation que j'ai choisie, c'est pour devenir ingénieur. Et je voudrais me spécialiser dans l'industriel, les machines industrielles et autres.
Quel message peux-tu passer à tous ces étudiants qui apprennent le français en ce moment?
D'accord. Ce que je pourrais dire aux étudiants qui apprennent le français en ce moment, c'est de vraiment persister, regarder des vidéos en français, écouter des podcasts et aussi de ne pas avoir peur de faire des erreurs parce que c'est une deuxième langue pour eux, donc ils doivent s'attendre à tout et avec le temps, tout sera au top.
Bon, le français, bon, en tout cas pour moi, je dirais que c'est facile, mais pour d'autres qui ne sont pas des natifs, c'est un peu compliqué. Mais bon, en parlant avec des personnes qui s'expriment déjà en français, ça devient un peu plus facile et puis voilà, on peut apprendre rapidement.
All right. So that was all about my friends from St. Pedro's University. Now that we know more about them, let's shift our attention back to myself. So what do I do every day? So this is a list of what I do every day. So I teach languages. Okay, Kate mentioned that earlier. I teach French, I teach Bambara, I teach English. Okay, for now, I don't teach Spanish. Okay, I also practice my public speaking. This is something I'm doing right now. So to me, each and every person I talk to is my audience. So it's an opportunity for me to practice my public speaking skills. I think you will see in the forthcoming slide what I mean by that, okay? Now, playing soccer. I also play soccer. And let me tell you here, I'm a pretty good player, okay? I'm not going to be modest about that. You can ask my friends and they will attest, okay? I even played for the college team. I was a college midfielder, okay? Thinking back, I could have even made a career playing soccer, but I had to choose. It was either you play soccer or you go to school. So I choose the latter, and I don't regret, okay? I don't regret, don't worry. And now, let's talk about writing. Of course, I will be mentioning my plans for the future by the end of the presentation. But in the meantime, let's talk about writing, because this is something I do very often because I plan to write later on in the future. So for now, I'm honing my writing skills by journaling or by writing short stories. Last but not least, on the list, we have running. So I run every day, except here, if you pay attention on this screenshot, you will see that it's a walking section, okay? This is because recently I had some health issues, so I'm taking it slow by walking a lot. And for the record, I have 30 kilometers, which is approximately 18.6 miles that I registered the last time I timed myself in 2 hours, 23 minutes. And based on my data, Kate, based on my research, the elite runner runs a full marathon in 2 hours, 5 minutes. And now I'm not an elite runner now, but I run 18.6 miles in 2 hours, 23 minutes. You see the difference? That should give you an idea of what it means for me, running means for me, okay? And also, this should be a reminder to show you that if I want to train for a marathon, I don't want to push myself too much, okay? Kate, let's go. All right, so this is what I was saying in the previous slide. This is me speaking with the microphone. Here I was hosting the now national public speaking competition. Now, because by that time we were dealing with the second edition. So when my French professor approached me and said, okay, I will be happy if you can give me leg up with the English section, because at that time it was only giving the competition, registering candidates only for French category. So I joined them, and I'm proud and glad to tell you that to this day, the flamme linguistique, donc la flamme linguistique, is a national public speaking competition, and almost all the schools and universities in Côte d'Ivoire registered to participate in this competition. All right. Now we have two more pictures next to it, me jogging and me in the nature. Actually, in this picture, I was at the National Park of Banco, so Banco National Park in Abidjan. And as I mentioned earlier, sport is something I take quite seriously. By the way, I'm also a former college track athlete. So living actively is something I take to heart. Kate, Alison, let's go. Okay. Now, again, Alison,
You
again.
can't see it yet?
Okay, great.
Ah.
Great. Okay. So this is me feeling adventurous. Yes, I know. The first question that pops up in your mind now is, are these snakes real? Let me tell you, yes, these snakes are real. These are real snakes, okay? From the wild. Now the question should be, how do I get them? That's the right question, okay? So I get them, or I got them, thanks to my other brother, who is Vipin Roger, who is very good at setting animals traps. So he set traps in the wild, in the bush, and caught these snakes. And that helps us cook and sell for the restaurant. By the way, we have a family business, which is a restaurant bar. So we also sell these snacks there, their meat. Now for this, I know many of you at this point will be upset, but I need to tell you the truth. If you pay attention, you will notice that these snakes are dead, okay? Yes, yeah, I know. You're upset, but it doesn't matter, all right? They're dead because that's the only time that I get to play with them. On the right, I'm holding a python, and that's the python constructor. For this one, you can stumble on them and get away with that, if you're lucky enough, okay? Because all it will do is to just use his strength and then subdue you by using construction. On the contrary, with the black mamba, which is here on the right, you don't mess with this guy. He's aggressive and venomous. And by the way, when I was hiking in the Banco National Park, I saw one black mamba, one sepanois, yep. But let me tell you the truth. I observed it from my position, okay? I admired it, then I took off, okay? Because you don't want to mess with it. He's aggressive and venomous, okay? Let's go, Alison.
Let's go. Next slide. Is arriving.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, that I will be discussing with you my plans for the future. So here we are. So what I want to achieve and who I want to be. I've planned to become a university professor. And of course, to teach at university, you first need to complete a PhD. So I will be completing a PhD in world languages education and then get to teach in the university. The picture you see on the right is what I see in my mind when I think about becoming a university professor. All right. So before we get to the Q&A section, I will show you a short clip of one of my day here in San Pedro. So when you're ready, Alison?
Yes, I am ready. Let's go.
Great. Mm-hmm.
Je vous laisse apprécier mon plat que je vais déguster. C'est du Cajun. Je suis à l'arrêt du bus et j'attends le bus numéro 354 qui fait le trajet Université Balmer. Je vais de ce pas à mon endroit préféré. C'est l'endroit où je m'assieds toutes les fois que je viens ici à la plage. Et d'ailleurs, c'est l'endroit dans lequel je lis très souvent. Et si cela peut vous aider à former une image de cet endroit, c'est un endroit où les cocotiers et les arbres se rencontrent pour former un couple. À présent, je vais prendre un taxi pour le centre culturel, là où se trouve l'Alliance française. Je suis en train de travailler dans la salle parce que ici, j'ai accès à l'électricité. Dans la bibliothèque, non. Vous voyez? Voilà. J'ai pu brancher ma firebox et tout le reste. Je viens de finir à l'Alliance française et je vais maintenant prendre un taxi pour la maison. Pour rappel, ici, le coût du taxi est tout aussi abordable que celui du bus, ce qui n'est pas le cas à Abidjan, dans la capitale économique. Et donc, vous me croire, quand je suis à Abidjan, je me déplace principalement en bus. À présent, je vais me dépêcher de rentrer à la maison parce que j'ai une séance de jogging qui m'attend.
So that was all for the presentation. I one more time want to thank you all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about my country, about my school, about my friends. And most importantly, thank you to give me the opportunity to share my life with you. I'm grateful to be part of this experience. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Aristide. It was great presentation. I am really thankful for all the work that you did and all the time that you took to prepare all of this and to go on all these places to show us around your cities and your country. It was really great. So now, guys, if you have any questions for Aristide, it will be the moment to ask your questions. So I'm going to read them one by one. And what I will do is that I will ask them in English and also translate in French, so you guys can have both. And yeah, so let's go. I can see that we have a first question asking how much does it cost to attend university in your country? Combien est-ce que ça coûte d'être à l'université dans ton pays?
Oh, great question. It depends on the level. I mean, if you're still an undergraduate, you won't have to pay the same fees with someone who is a graduate. So if you're undergraduate, the basic fees that you pay are 30,000 CFA. I think that's the equivalent of $25. No, not 35. 30, yeah, $30 to $35. Anyway, 30,000 CFA.
Okay, great. Really
Yes,
interesting.
for
Thank you.
the undergraduate. Now for the graduate, 50,000 CFA. Sometimes
Okay.
70,000. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, great. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Aristide. And how many languages do you speak? Combien de langues est-ce que tu parles?
Yes, I know. Let's say roughly around 7, but for those I had comment, that's 4. I mean French, Bambara, English, and Spanish. Those one I can get by, but the 3 other small talk, I can deal with small talk.
Okay. And do you use, I'm sorry, I'm
Mhm.
asking also sometimes questions for myself, but do you often
Go
use
ahead.
like English or what is the language you use the most apart from French in Côte d'Ivoire, I mean?
I'm in Côte d'Ivoire, so obviously the language that I use the most is French,
Yes.
except when I'm alone, I think in English. So basically, I run 90% on English. If not, any person you'll be talking to outside, it's French you're using, unless you're at university or talking to a friend who can speak English.
Okay. And any local dialect also, like Bambara, you were saying, I think?
Yeah, definitely. I do speak Bambara.
Okay.
Mbe
You
kwa
speak it
manakamfo.
mostly with your family, I guess?
Nope, with my family, it's Baulu I speak. Baulu enkan,
Oh.
ke in Kwalo, Baulu enkan. Bambara koni ni mitalogola. When you're going to a market, okay, here in Cote d'Ivoire, generally speaking, the women selling in markets speak Bambara, okay, because they're from the Bambara people, Sinfo, and other related people.
Okay, that's so interesting.
Mm.
Thank you. We have another question asking, do you have any favorite book, genre to read, or any books you recommend? Est-ce que tu as des styles de lecture favoris et qu'est-ce que tu recommanderais?
Great. That's a great question, but at the same time, I think the question isn't complete because I don't know the interest of this person. I know what I read and I know why I read it. Okay. So I think the question should be, what's your favorite book? Right?
Allons-y.
Great. So my favorite book, yeah, my favorite book is The Obstacle is the Way from Ryan Holiday. He's an American author. The Obstacle is the Way.
Ok.
And if you want another book as a young, The Alchemist
Paulo
or Paulo
Coelho.
Coelho.
Oui.
Yeah, Paulo
Ok.
Coelho, The Alchemist. Mhm, mhm,
Great. And do you read in
mhm.
English or in French?
Mostly in English. If I show you my library right now, you will see that almost all my books. Okay, let's go. These are books. Quickly, you see this?
Yes.
Can you see the titles? All these books. Can you see
Glucose
titles?
Revolution.
Glucose Revolutions. So 90% of all my books are written in English, and I read them in English.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I read them
great.
in English. Mhm,
Thank you. So we have another
mhm.
question asking, what does childhood look like in Côte d'Ivoire? Has it changed since you were a child? And what were your favorite games or activities? Quand tu étais enfant,
Oh,
comment c'était en Côte d'Ivoire et est-ce que ça a beaucoup changé? Et quels étaient tes jeux favoris ou tes activités préférées?
great question. Great question. Anyway, again, it depends on what you're looking from or back from your childhood. Anyway, I had a quite interesting childhood, and about the games, I still remember to this day Super Mario.
Ah,
Okay, and if the question is about the environment, yes, my village, for example, has really evolved, and to this day, I think the last time I visited mom, we have electricity, which isn't the case at all. We have electricity now. That means things have changed. Yeah, things have changed.
It would
ok.
be interesting to hear from Armand on that question too. He's also from Côte d'Ivoire.
Okay.
Alison, do you want to
Mhm,
introduce him?
Yeah, definitely.
mhm.
So we have Armand here, who is also a coach from Côte d'Ivoire. They know each other with Aristide and also Louise, who is another coach with us.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
can you tell us a little bit about your childhood activities, Armand, si tu es ici?
Oh, okay, so let's say I spent my childhood in my village, close to my mother, and the activity we do the most is to go to the farm. Yeah, so when I go to school and the day I don't go to school, I used to help my mother or my father on the farm to work. That's all.
Nice. Thank you so much, guys. I will have another question for you both, if you both want to answer.
Okay.
What is
Okay.
the hardest and most fun thing about being a coach with Conversifi? And also, Louise, if you are with us, you can participate and also say what do you think about this question. Ah oui, pardon, je vais demander aussi en français. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous pensez qui est le plus difficile et en même temps le plus fun dans le fait d'être coach sur Conversify?
Okay, for me, I'm going to say the hardest thing is about the time I chose because I chose the second time, the second shift. So I start here at 11 p.m. and I finish at 2 a.m. So this is the thing that I really find it a little bit hard by my side. And the things which is really interesting is about talking to students. It allows me to talk to students from other countries, from other universities. This is kind of language exchange, and this is so helpful.
Merci beaucoup, Armand. Et toi, Aristide, qu'est-ce que tu en penses?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first reason why I chose to join Conversifi was because I was doing this back then without getting paid. Yep. I was talking to Russian friends, to Spanish friends, and even from people, my friends, my classmates, former classmates, I was coaching them for free because I like to do that. So when Steve talked about that, I said, okay, that's a great opportunity. I will have the opportunity to help other students, other mates, and that will be great. So that's why I joined Conversify.
That's great. So, what is the most fun thing that you like about meeting other students? And do you have any anecdotes? I'm sorry, I don't have the
Oh,
translation
yeah.
for this one.
I think
Same word in English.
Ah,
yep, the, the, the one thing that I still remember and that I do like, because sometimes I even laugh, I laugh a lot, is how stressed they are when they arrive sometimes. Okay. So you will see one coming. Sorry, I'm not okay. I don't know where do we start. Okay. Okay. Please, can you repeat it? You see, you can tell the student is stressed out right before the conversation. We shouldn't be the case, and I can understand because that's something new. When you're learning a new language, you feel vulnerable. Okay.
c'est vrai.
Mhm.
Je suis d'accord.
Yep.
Merci beaucoup, Aristide. Et Louise, je ne sais pas si tu es ici. I'm looking for Louise, who is another Côte
I don't
d'Ivoire
think she's
coach.
here. Mm-mm.
Yeah, she's not
I
here.
don't see her.
Okay, no worries. I didn't want to miss her if she was here. Perfect. So we're gonna go to the next question.
Mhm.
What does it cost the students to earn a PhD? So that's a very specific question. I don't know if you answered this question earlier or if that's different.
I don't believe I answered the question. I mentioned that I'm planning to get a PhD, but not that I've completed the PhD. Okay. Now, if it depends, am I completing the PhD here in Côte d'Ivoire? That will be quite different to the US because I know that education in the US costs an arm and a leg. Okay. Which isn't the case here. The only difference will be whether the discipline, the graduate program that I chose, whether my school or the local university offers this program. If they do offer this program, then I'm good to go. But if they don't, then the second option is applying for a, a graduate program and go study over there, either to the US or to the UK. Anyway, any place where I will be able to complete the PhD.
Ok. Thank you very much. Et toi, Armand, je ne sais pas si tu as une réponse personnelle à apporter à cette question. Do you have your own answer for this question, Armand?
I think he has already said what I want to
Okay.
say.
Okay. So you would like also to travel abroad or stay in Côte d'Ivoire to complete your PhD?
Is it for me or Amma?
Armand.
Mhm.
Okay, so me personally, I would like to travel to another country to finish my studies, just to have a great background, to have more knowledge and experiences, and after that, just come back home.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I remember that's what you said in the presentation. That's true. Perfect. Thank you, guys. So the next question is for you, Aristide, specifically for
Okay.
what you said in the video. Dans quelle
Okay.
ville est le restaurant de ta famille et comment s'appelle le restaurant? In which city is your family restaurant and how is it called?
Oh, okay. The restaurant is located in Nica. That's far from San Pedro. It's a big village, okay? And we call the place commonly Chez la Vieille. because
Okay.
they call my mom La Vieille, okay? So chez La Vieille, to the old lady. So old
Okay.
lady's place. That's the the old lady's place. That's the name of the restaurant. If you want to know, literally speaking, how it's spelled.
Okay. Thank you very
Mhm,
much. And so in
mhm.
these restaurants, you said you were eating snakes sometimes?
Yes, this is what I said. If I won't be, we
Yes.
have any plan for that?
No, no, no.
Okay,
So
okay,
you eat snakes like how do you eat it in a soup or what is the favorite dish that you usually eat with snakes? And this will be the next question as well. What does snake taste like?
what does it taste like? Okay. For your first question, I prefer it in soup. Okay, I prefer it in soup. Now, for how it tastes almost like chicken.
Okay,
Almost like chicken. Yes,
almost.
almost like chicken. Yes, yes,
Nice.
but way more better. Way more better. Oh yeah, believe me, way more better.
Okay. And so
Uh-huh.
these snakes, you hunt them in the wild, right? You get them
Yep,
from
that,
the bush. Okay, that's
yep, that's
really
correct.
interesting. Hmm.
That's correct.
And
That's
the
correct.
other question after that is also related to how the snakes taste. Can you taste the
Okay.
difference between the python and the black mamba? Est-ce qu'il y a une différence
Yep,
de goût entre le
yep. Oh yeah.
python et le black mamba?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That's a good question. I like the question. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Très bonne
Okay.
question.
Yeah. Actually, as you can see, the python has more meat. Okay, it has more meat and it's sweeter than the black mamba. The black mamba is tough. So, for example, when you're cooking the python, you spend less time cooking the python than you spend on the black mamba.
Okay, wow.
Okay, and another detail that I believe is important is with the black mamba, for example, you don't need to add too much spices in it because the black mamba itself tastes a bit spicy. It's like you already added some pepper. Yes, yes.
Okay, wow.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
another question from me regarding that, what are
Go
the
ahead.
other, always,
Mhm.
what are the other animals that you would find only in Côte d'Ivoire, in the wild, for example, that you would eat that we wouldn't even know about, like that we could eat this animal?
We have frog. You know frog?
Ah oui, évidemment.
You don't seem so sure.
Yes,
We eat frog here in Côte d'Ivoire.
I am not a big fan of frogs. I know it's a very special dish here in France. Personally, I'm not a big fan. Do you eat frogs as well in Côte d'Ivoire? Or no?
I eat snake, so
Nice, nice,
unless you
perfect.
guess. Unless you guessed.
Okay, perfect. Next question. So, how do you become so fluent in
Mm-hmm,
Spanish and English?
mm-hmm. All right. I think we all know the secret to learning languages is all about persistence, resilience, okay? And practice. I mean, you do something today, you learn something today, tomorrow you want to learn something, the next day you want to learn something. And to be honest, I have more comment over English now than I have over Spanish. Okay. Mhm.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So,
My pleasure.
another question is what is a cultural tradition in Côte d'Ivoire that most people outside of the country wouldn't know about? Est-ce qu'il y a une tradition culturelle en Côte d'Ivoire que la plupart des
Mhm,
personnes à l'extérieur
mhm.
ne connaîtraient pas?
Yep. I think excision. Okay, let's leave this. We have a dance here, a dance from West people from the West country. Okay. And this dance at a given time, they use a knife, and the dancer, a male who is generally speaking strong, will throw the small girl, generally speaking, girls from 6 to 7, he will throw her up and then use the knife to just to catch her. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Kate. Yes, that's correct. Yes, I even thought about it when Alison wanted me to propose to give a theme, but I said, okay, those subjects can be quite sensitive, so better leave it. So this is something I think if you come here, you want to know more about.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So we have
Mhm.
another question.
Mhm.
So what about your favorite book from an author from your country? Do you have a favorite book from an author from your country? Est-ce que tu as un livre
Yes,
préféré d'un
yes,
auteur de Côte
yes,
d'Ivoire?
yes, 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 and yes. And I still remember it to this day because I still have it on my shelf. That is La puissance de la lecture, Isaïe Biton Koulibaly. La puissance de la lecture, Isaïe Biton Koulibaly. All in all, in this small book of, I think, 40 pages maximum, he wraps up almost everything that we need to know about reading. And in this book, he mentions that the same way we choose diverse foods for our body, we need to read almost everything. So if you need food for thought, you also want to use different food for thought. And then you have a real balance.
Okay.
So,
Thank you
la
very
puissance de la
much
lecture,
for
Isaïe Biton Koulibaly. Mhm.
Thank you very much for your answers, Aristide. I
So,
think we are almost done with the timing. So I would
mhm.
like to take a minute to thank everyone for being here. And maybe, Kate, you would like to wrap up with a few words, or it was our first presentation for French. So I am really
Mhm.
happy that you were all here, and thank you again. If you would like to add anything or ask any question, you can reach out to me or Kate or JC, and we would be happy to transfer your questions as well to Aristide, because maybe you will think about some things afterwards. So yes, thank
Mhm.
you very much everyone, and I'll leave it to you, Kate. Et
You
merci
guys
beaucoup,
did
Aristide.
yes, you did a wonderful job. I'm so glad that you were here. I
Thank you.
just threw a link in the chat for my Calendly. For I know there are a few people in this session who don't know a lot about Conversifi. If you'd like to learn more, just schedule some time with me and we can follow up later. So that's in the chat. Just click it and put some time on my calendar. Um, I and Allison and Aristide, we're all really open to feedback from all of you. If you have ideas for how we could do this differently in the future, or as Allison said, we're just kind of starting out with doing these little webinars, little chances to look more deeply into a certain culture or a certain person's life. We'll do more of these, so I would love your feedback. I'm so grateful to all of you for participating and joining us today. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for Natalie being such a wonderful interpreter for us too. That's been fabulous. And Armand for popping in with some comments and verbal and
Oui,
written. So
merci Armand.
yes,
Merci beaucoup.
fabulous team effort, everybody.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you
you too.
very much. And I hope to see you all soon on Conversify.